Extreme cold snap. Frigid temperatures grip the capital as dangerously cold temperatures make its way into the region. Good afternoon. This is CTV News at 5. I'm Stefan. The mercury in the thermometer taking a nosedive today as temperatures drop into danger territory. Frostbite is a risk, and so if you are one of the winter enthusiasts still planning to lace up the skates or hit the slopes, Environment Canada and Ottawa Public Health are both putting you on notice. Tonight's overnight low will plummet to -27, with the wind chill making it feel like -39. And the low tomorrow night, again extremely cold. It is expected to dip to -29. Let's go live now to CTV's Tyler Fleming, who is layered up outside for us. Tyler.
Yeah, I definitely am, Stefan. The sun is starting to set, or has set, and I can tell you it's a lot colder than it was this afternoon. And this kind of temperature, it's a serious concern for the city's vulnerable population, especially the young, elderly, and unhoused. When outside, proper clothing is the first line of defense. Dress in layers, wear boots, gloves, hat, a neck warmer, and protect your chin, lips, and cheeks. Signs of frostbite include pink or white patches of skin with a waxy feeling. That's numb. City libraries and community centers are places to warm up, and for those unhoused, shelters like the Mission and Shepherds of Good Hope are open around the clock. So is the Salvation Army, along with its mobile outreach teams.
Not everybody we engage with feels comfortable going into some settings, so that's why we're here on the road 24 hours a day to provide that warming gear.
We don't need paramedics to take care of the vast majority of frostbite because simple first aid will do it. Also, Health Connect Ontario 811 is a good place to get medical advice on what to do.
The deep freeze may have motorists dealing with dead batteries too. When traveling, always make sure you dress for the outside. Like this, because it's very cold. I'm happy I have my mitts, Steph. We may not be setting any records with this temperature, but it's the coldest it's been in at least 3 years.
Yeah, definitely since recent memory. CTV's Tyler Fleming reporting for us. Thank you, Tyler. And CTV's Jackie Perez is indoors tonight, but at the Mayor's Gala, raising money to help end youth homelessness. And Jackie, for those who don't have a home, these temperatures can, in fact, be fatal.
Yes, Stefan, and it's something we are keeping a very close eye on. This will be one of the coldest stretches for this season as the surge of cold Arctic air makes its way to the region, and it will linger for the next several days. Now, taking a look, it has prompted an extreme cold warning for Eastern Ontario. Factor in that wind chill values, it will feel more between -35 to -40s for periods throughout the day. This just gives you a broader look of just how the extreme cold is affecting the country. It's stretching from Saskatchewan to New Brunswick, and as mentioned, this will linger into the weekend. You can already feel it now, the temperatures continuing to fall throughout the day as a cold Arctic air sweeps through pretty much all of Ontario and Quebec really over this weekend. The coldest time of day, it will be the early hours of Saturday and Sunday, which will carry us potentially into Monday morning. Taking a look at temperatures right now across the region, sitting around -12, -14, but when you factor in the wind chill, it's going to feel closer to -25. Even in the valley, you're already seeing that cold Arctic air moving through, Stefan, where wind chill values feeling closer to -30. So if you are heading out this evening, make sure you are layering up, bundling up, and trying not to expose your skin because there is a chance for a frostbite as well.
Yeah, great advice. Thank you, Jackie. The public service layoff notices are quickly becoming plentiful. Thousands have been sent out, and the list of departments sending them out continues to grow. CTV's Austin Lee is live with the latest for us. Austin.
Yeah, Stefan, we just keep learning more about the federal government's plan to slash the public sector by 28,000 jobs over the next 4 years. We now know that about 10,000 or more than 10,000 notices have been sent out to public sector workers this week. Data provided by public sector unions shows workers in at least 12 departments received notices this week that their jobs may be affected by the comprehensive expenditure review. Now, a notice does not necessarily mean the workers are guaranteed to lose their job, but it does mean that they may be affected. So here's a look at the number of notices issued to employees at some departments. Approximately 2,400 notices were issued to employees at Global Affairs, 1,600 notices issued to workers at Health Canada, 1,380 at Transport Canada, 1,023 notices issued to staff at Innovation, Science and Economic Development Canada, and 988 to workers at Environment and Climate Change Canada, where the department will cut 840 positions, and 333 notices have been issued to workers at Canadian Heritage. CTV News has also reached out to these departments to determine and to try to get a sense of exactly how many jobs will be cut, but many of those did not respond to our request. Again, this is the federal government's plan to reduce the size of the public sector by 28,000 jobs, and that is with the goal of saving $60 billion. Stefan.
All right, CTV's Austin Lee with this update. Thank you, Austin. In other news, the family of the victim from one of the worst mass killings in Ottawa's recent memory is calling on the federal government to intervene. While some family members have been approved to stay in Canada on compassionate grounds, the only child left in the extended family remains overseas, separated from her father. CTV's Caitlin Wilson joins us live now with more. Caitlin.
Yes, Stefan, in just 2 years, the family says they've lost nearly everything: a wife, 4 children, and a close family friend. They say healing can't begin until they're all together. They're now asking the immigration minister to help reunite what's left of their family overseas. Chelaka Wickramasinghe came to Canada to support his brother, Dhanushka Wickramasinghe, who is the sole survivor of the mass stabbing in Barrhaven. Since then, Chelaka has stayed, cooking meals, helping rebuild a business, and making sure his brother isn't alone. Recently, his permanent residency was approved on humanitarian and compassionate grounds, along with his brothers and fathers. But the program only applies to people already in Canada. His wife and 3-year-old daughter remain in Sri Lanka after their visitor visas were denied in 2024. A request for reconsideration was also rejected.
Brother is torn. Every day is another day. He's not with his wife and his daughter. And so knowing that you're causing your brother that pain because he's helping you, again, that the family just can't move forward, not until they're all together.
Their immigration lawyer, Ronnie Carey, says Chelaka can now sponsor his family, but that process could take another 14 months. In the meantime, she says she's reached out to the immigration minister multiple times to help reunite the family sooner, with no response. In a statement to CTV News, Immigration, Refugee and Citizenship Canada says it cannot comment on individual cases due to privacy concerns. Stefan?
All right, thank you for this update, Caitlin. Appreciate it. In developing news, OC Transpo is giving an update on the public transit situation in Ottawa, currently facing a compromised supply of vehicles. Train cars are out of commission, and the aging bus fleet is causing the service to cancel hundreds of trips.
It can be really challenging to just stand and wait for an unknown amount of time for whenever the bus decides to show up.
Now, OC Transpo says plans are in the works to make things better for users. Last year, the city spent more than $190,000 to buy 11 used buses from Kitchener-Waterloo, and there could be plans to buy more and sending some buses outside the city for repairs.
We're at the early stages of that. We've only sent 1 bus so far. We want to see what their performance is, and should they produce good results, we'd be looking at sending more buses on a regular basis to them.
General Manager of OC Transpo, Troy Charter, did not specify exactly where or how far the buses are being sent. When it comes to the LRT, no firm timeline for when all the cars will be back in service, but OC Transpo insists they are meeting demand in a sufficient manner, even if the cars are a bit more crowded. Students and staff at Algonquin College are expressing concern after the announcement that 30 more programs at the school could be facing cuts.
It's hard on the students that do want to take those programs.
Programs like hospitality, journalism, and paralegal could be on the chopping block. It will affect courses on the Ottawa and Pembroke campuses. This follows cuts made last year to 37 programs and the closure of the Perth campus. The school's union calls these vital programs to offer.
Some of the programs that are being cut are pretty serious, important programs that we require to keep our communities going. If I think just about the ones in our department, paralegal and law clerk, those are substantial programs that are required in our community. Some of the ones in media and design, we've already had people who have reached out and said, really?
Algonquin College says the recommendations are a response to policy decisions because of federal and provincial funding shortfalls. Coming up for us here on CTV News at 5, what 3 Las Vegas hotels are doing in the hopes of luring Canadian tourists back to Sin City. Now for a live check on Friday night traffic. Things are moving well on this Friday, fairly light, not like earlier this week. But as we take a look at the Queensway this hour, we know that there's a collision near Island Park in the westbound lanes. That has since been cleared and flowing fairly well right now. We'll be right back. Welcome back to CTV News at 5. There has been a steady decline of Canadians traveling to the U.S. And while President Trump has said Americans don't need Canadian products, some U.S. resorts say they want Canadian tourists to return, offering them a dollar-for-dollar incentive. CTV's Pat Foran has more.
A U.S. report found that in 2024, Canadian tourism contributed more than $20 billion to the U.S. economy and supported 140,000 American jobs. But as many Canadians refuse to travel to the U.S., the hospitality industry is hurting. That's especially true in Las Vegas.
There's all the hotels behind me. They all want Canada to come back just as much as I do.
Derek Stevens, the CEO of Circa Resort and Casino, the D Las Vegas, and the Golden Gate Hotel and Casino, is taking a gamble that some Canadians will come back with a dollar-for-dollar deal.
We miss Canadians. And for me personally, I grew up in a border town of Detroit and Windsor. And I got to see how close we really all were.
Stevens says at his resorts, Canadians will get a financial break until August 31st with the At Par program. Canadian guests will receive $1 U.S. in value for every Canadian dollar spent, regardless of the daily exchange rate.
I want to make sure that Canadians know you still have a lot of friends in America.
I understand why they're doing it. It's been really hard on American tour operators, the loss of the Canadian visitor.
Lauren Christie says he's not surprised Las Vegas casinos want to roll the dice on an idea to get Canadians back, but he questions if it will be enough.
I'm not sure that it's going to have much of effect. It may entice a few people going down, but anecdotally, from what I hear, people are just not interested in going to the United States this year.
Stevens says along with hotel charges being at par with the U.S. dollar, Canadians will be able to redeem up to $500 in slot promotional play, as well as get deals on drinks. He's hopeful some Canadians will make the trip.
I could say there's a lot of Americans that hope that some of the rhetoric dies down and we get back to being what we really are, allies and best friends.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
That brings us to today's radio question of the day, asking if you got a great deal, would you travel to the U.S.?
Yes, there is not a chance I will spend one nickel in the U.S. at this time. I'd rather spend money in our country or in a Caribbean country.
Christy Cameron is here with more, and that listener in particular saying it with her full chest, feeling very convicted about her stance against not going to the United States. Christy, I think some people would take advantage. Would you go?
No. I wouldn't.
Full stop.
And that
period.
wasn't me, by the way. Even though that's my full name, but that was a different Kristen.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. I'm with her. I wouldn't go. I don't judge people who do. I have one set of parents right now that are actually down in Florida. They are snowbirds. My other set of parents decided not to go, and they haven't been going for many, many years. Basically, since all of this stuff has been happening, they have reevaluated and decided that it's not for them. Personally, I wouldn't. I don't want to go and spend my money there right now. I have heard the message loud and clear from American officials. We're talking about President Trump.
Right.
We don't need Canadian lumber. We don't need Canadian cars. Well, then you don't need my money either, and I'm not going to Las Vegas. I feel for the people in the tourism industry there, like the bartenders or the people that are working at casinos. It's not their fault, but you do have agency over your pocketbook, and I've decided for me, I'm staying here.
Yeah, draw a hard line in the sand and not cross it.
Yeah, and I'd rather travel domestically right now. I mean, well, right now, I guess it's not as appealing, is it, when it's like minus 30 overnight? But especially in the Canadian summer, in the spring, our country has so much beauty to offer. And I'd really like to support the economy here by staying within Canada.
Yeah, and you know, the government's given us incentive with the Canada Strong Pass. So.
Yeah. And I will point out as well, you know, there are resort fees as well in Las Vegas, which can be like $50 a head. So even if you drop the exchange rate, it's still pretty expensive.
Yeah, good point, Christy. Thank you. Have a great weekend. You can join the conversation, leave a comment through the Talkback feature on the iHeartRadio app. You can listen live to Christy Cameron on News Talk 580 CFRA weekdays from 2 to 6. And you can also watch Christy's segments anytime on YouTube. Subscribe to the News Talk 580 CFRA page.
Hey, hey, ho, ho! RTO is got to go!
Coming up on CTV News at 5, Ontario Public Service workers rally against Ford's 5 days in the office mandate. Stay with us.
The National Capital Region is jam-packed with incredible experiences you don't want to miss. Hey, I'm Tanea Taylor, your iHeartRadio Weekender, powered by Barrhaven Ford. Get the inside scoop on all the biggest and best events every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday on CTV, Move 100, Pure Country 94, TSN 1200, and News Talk 580 CFRA. iHeartRadio Weekenders is powered by Barrhaven Ford, Ottawa's newest and largest Ford dealership, and Ontario's #1 Ford EV dealer.
Coming up on CTV tonight after the news, E-Talk starts at 7, then an episode of The Big Bang Theory at 7:30. Celebrity Wheel of Fortune is on at 8. Happy's Place at 9. Stumble at 9:30 and Boston Blue at 10. Now for another check on this frigid weather forecast, let's go back to Jackie, who is live at Chateau Laurier tonight. Jackie.
Well, thanks so much, Stefan. I mean, the extremely cold temperatures will be persisting throughout this weekend. The silver lining is that it could be warming up as early as Monday, but with this could come heavy snow and strong winds, and this is coming from a storm that we are tracking coming from the eastern part of the United States. So keeping a close eye on that, more in just a little bit. But here's a look through a live look through our Centennial Glass Skycam showcasing Chateau Laurier, which is where we are this evening, -15, but factor in the wind chill values, feeling closer to -26. So while we had a cleanly clear day, this will continue for our Saturday. Not much in terms of flurries, but again, the cold warning in effect for a significant portion of the country. Now here in Ottawa, -40 with the values that we could experience up to these wind chill values. And this is going to be into the early hours of our Saturday morning and Sunday. So again, risk of frostbite and the deep freeze sticking around until Monday. A closer look at the next 24 hours. Again, those wind gusts up to 40 kilometers per hour, bringing those northwesterly winds. 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, -27 is what we're going to start off with, feeling more like -37. We will warm up to about -18, and that sunshine really helping. But again, it's going to be quite cold for our weekend. -25 the overnight for the Seaway, -15 the daytime high for our Saturday. And by Sunday, for the sea, or for the valley, I should say, -18 will be the Saturday daytime high. What we are tracking, though, and keeping an eye on is a big weather system moving through the U.S. for the weekend. It will likely hit parts of southern Ontario with heavy snow. It's still early, but early forecasts show that there is potential for our region to get nearly 10 to 15 centimeters of snow, and this can be beginning Sunday afternoon to early evening. So it could stretch into your Monday morning commute. Now, taking a look at this 5-day, again, temperatures will start to ease and get back to seasonal conditions by the time Monday rolls around. The daytime high will be -11, -21 is the overnight low, but again, we are going to be going through this deep freeze for at least 3 days, and then we will likely get back to seasonal. But with that, again, forewarning, we are likely going to get heavy snow, Stefan. So plan your travel if you are going to be out and about on Sunday.
All right, I shivered a little bit looking at that -29 on the display there, Jackie. But we're tough Canadian kids. We'll get through this. Thank you. Coming up for us here on CTV News at 5, someone in Eastern Ontario has a winning lottery ticket, but time is running out to claim the prize. Also, if you need gas tonight, one of today's cheapest gas prices can be found at the Petro-Canada station on Carling Avenue. Regular gas there tonight is going for 120.9 cents a litre. We'll be right back.
Get the latest live local breaking news. Sign up now for our morning and evening CTV News Ottawa newsletter. The best local content from CTV News, Your Morning Ottawa, and News Talk 580 CFRA. Get it all in one place. Sign up now at ctvnewsottawa.ca. The CTV News Ottawa newsletter is brought to you in part by CAA Business.
Here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Skycam. -15 right now, but the wind chill is really what hurts, feeling like -26 once you factor that in. Time now for a look ahead to CTV News at 6. Here's Patricia Bull.
Thanks, Steph. Here's what we're working on for 6 o'clock.
We're here on the road 24 hours a day to provide that warming gear.
Well, bundle up, Ottawa. This extreme cold is descending on the capital with lows tonight and tomorrow close to -30. The latest on public service job cuts. About 10,000 federal public servants received notices just this week, letting them know their jobs may be at risk of being cut.
It can be really challenging to just stand and wait for an unknown amount of time for whenever the bus decides to show up.
The latest from OC Transpo is it seeks to minimize disruptions for transit users, while multiple trains have been pulled off the tracks in need of repairs. All of that and more is coming up tonight on CTV News at 6. That's right after the early edition of CTV National News with Sandy Ronaldo at 5:30. Steph.
Thank you, Patricia. Now the final 5 other stories we're following. A group of Ontario civil servants and their supporters took part in a rally today in Toronto over the province's decision to end hybrid and remote work.
Hey, hey! Ho, ho! RTO has got to go! Hey, hey!
Union members are speaking out against the return to office mandate, saying the decision requiring workers to be in the office 5 days a week does not benefit Ontarians or civil servants. Premier Doug Ford has said he wants government employees back in the office full-time so they can be mentored and collaborate.
I would not suggest that anyone coming to Nashville plan on wearing number 59.
Yeah, exactly.
And Washington score!
It went from a great start to a heartbreaking end for the Senators in Nashville last night. The Sens were up 3-0, but the Predators would claw their way back to tie the game, then beat the Sens 5-3. Ottawa hosts Carolina tomorrow night. Look out for the no parking signs in this snow this weekend as the city continues snow removal operations. Crews will continue to remove snowbanks from residential streets and select arterial and collector roads. Temporary no parking signs will be installed in affected areas. StatsCan is out with its retail trade figures for November, and it appears there was a holiday spending boost. Retail sales increased 1.3% in November to $70.4 billion. Sales were up in 8 of 9 subsectors and led by increases in food and beverage sales. Someone in Eastern Ontario is sitting on a winning lottery ticket that's about to expire. The winner has 2 weeks left to claim the $100,000 Encore prize. The winning ticket was sold last February in Athens, Ontario. That's about 125 kilometers southwest of Ottawa. Players have 1 year from the draw date to claim their prize. That is CTV News at 5. I'm Stefan Keys. Be sure to join Patricia Bull for CTV News at 6. The early edition of National starts now.